it. Made a couple racks, I never asked how she did it. City girls out to have fun.
Welcome to Connect with Christina, Season 2, Episode 12. We are at Episode 12 already. And with me today is attorney Michael Morgan with MDK.
Thank you for having me.
And I have to tell you, I've been waiting to have you on here for a while. So you'll have to bear with me because I have a lot of questions for you.
You know, I might know how to deal with questions as an attorney, so we're good.
Well, other than being an attorney, I know you have your hands in a few other things, so we'll get into that. But let's start with, share with everyone really about your firm first.
So, short story is a couple of guys and myself decided we wanted to do a full-time plaintiff's firm. I'd been doing defense work. I was on the state board for a period of time. I was panel counsel for a number of the national insurance carriers, but my heart wasn't for that type of work. I was more motivated and more driven to help the people that were the victims. And I'd always done that when there wasn't a conflict. And there was an opportunity I had with a firm to essentially develop plaintiff's work, to really focus on the victims. And when I did that, without spending a single dollar, I was able to get so many people such great results and see it change lives dramatically, and knew that, you know, I didn't need to be on the other side anymore. I needed to jump ship and help victims. And when I decided to do that, two other guys decided to join the party. And, a little over 3 years ago, we started MDK.
Shout out Sargon.
Exactly.
Sargon's been on the show too. So 3 years ago, you started MDK, but yet you have made a profound difference in our PI industry already, or in the communities, by way of helping these victims.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We do connect with people in a lot of different ways, but still to this day, most of our business comes from people we know or that are familiar with the kind of work that we do. So we get calls from friends, family members, their cousins, whoever, that say, you know, I worked with Sargon, I worked with Mike, they were amazing, they took care of us, I had their direct cell phone number, which all of our clients do, and, it's a personal touch with MDK that we deliver and we think makes a difference, because when people are going through this trauma, they're not professionals at it. They don't know where to go, they don't have the guidance, they don't have the direction, and that's where we step in. And we can help give them a path to improve medically. We can connect them with people so that they can get the care that they need. And then more importantly, at the end of the day, we work to make sure that they get the right result. And we're very good at delivering effective results for our clients.
I feel like there's a lot of PI attorneys now, right? And the firms. And I know you talked a little bit about how you guys function in the office and how you take care of people. But what really sets you apart, in your opinion?
I think what sets us apart is our experience, our expertise.
You litigate. We
litigate. We try cases in-house. We handle clients from day one to conclusion. And, the other thing I think that we really strive to focus on is make sure people feel appreciated, because accident victims of all kinds are going through a trauma, and it's an experience they're not used to. They haven't seen those street corners before. They don't know what to do, where to go, what to expect. And I think other than a few firms, and there are a number of good firms in town, I think we're right up there with anybody in terms of our client communication. I really, am proud of what we do as a firm to deliver the information folks need to feel comforted about what's happening and to have reasonable expectations about where the path is going as they move forward through the trauma.
I know you have had a lot of opportunity to help, people. But is there a specific one that really comes to mind, that where that point in your life when you help someone out in the PI space where you're like, this is it, this is what I'm going to do until I retire?
So my personal background is my dad was hit by 2 semi-trucks when I was in high school. And
I'm sorry to hear that. I had no idea.
Yeah. So huge trauma. I wasn't an attorney, obviously, didn't know what to do, and we hired someone. And, the process was pretty confusing. It was upsetting. We would get these weird court documents and not know what to do with them, and then we'd send them back and hear nothing. And it was a frustrating process for me, just as an outsider, and I thought to myself, there has to be a better way. And so when I knew that my path was in the legal arena, I knew that that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to make sure that anyone that I worked with never felt that way. And as a firm, we're committed to that. And as an example, to answer your question, and I kind of walk around things sometimes, I'm an attorney, go figure. But I had a client, a really nice lady. She had a young child. They were in a car accident together on the freeway. No idea what to do. And she had heard about me from one of her friends. And she called me and said, Mike, I've heard about you. You don't need to explain anything. I'm going to work with you. I want to know what to do. And we got to know each other through the process, and were able to get her and her son full policy limit results. And as a single mom raising a wonderful young man, really great kid, good student, good athlete. He was injured, so his athletic pursuits were put on pause for a period of time. But we got them a great result. And every year since then, and it's been almost 15 years, I get a Christmas card from her. And that is just sort of a signal how impactful the work that we do in this community is. I did defense work and worked on some very large cases. I defended a $300 million lawsuit at one point, and successfully. And then, you sort of tell the insurance company, hey, we got it resolved, and they're like, thanks, and they send you the next one. You never hear from them. You don't get Christmas cards. You don't have that interconnected rapport. You don't build that community. And with personal injury, you're helping people in a time of need. And if you do it successfully and you're committed to it and you work to get the results they deserve, you have someone that, values what you've contributed to their life path. And that, to me, is incredibly tremendous to have that opportunity, to have that privilege to serve people in this way, to help them get what they deserve, to get them to the end of the path and put them in a position where they can move forward with the next chapter.
And you and I talk as friends about how we want to educate people on why it's the way to go to have a law firm help you with an accident. And I wish I could just express that further. Maybe you can help me as to why that is.
Yeah, so when people are in an accident, it's often their first time, or maybe they had a friend or family member that had been through it before. There's no playbook for accident victims. They don't know what to do. And usually their first contact is with the insurance company. Insurance company calls them, or they call in to report an accident. That agent is then trying to position them to resolve it early, to help pay as little as they can, or in some instances, absolutely nothing. And so when people don't call an attorney, they're making a mistake because they're missing out on an opportunity to get information, whether they hire someone or not, to get information. And they can then use that information to make good decisions for themselves and their family. So with MDK, everyone that calls always gets a free consultation. I will talk with you if you're at fault. I will talk with you if you're not at fault. I'll talk with you if you're a passenger. Doesn't matter. I want to arm you with information so that you can make a good decision for yourself. Whether it's with us or anybody else, you should be an informed consumer. You should have the benefit of that information. And we're committed to making sure that anyone that calls us has that opportunity.
And yeah, we'll put all of your information up here too, because that's what I want. I want people to, learn about their options and their rights. But I feel like when I'm in front of people, the first thing is, oh no, they're already taking care of me. They're sending me a check, and then but they're hurting. And
a prime example of that for me is I had a very nice couple, older couple. They were both retired, living in Arizona and living the dream. And one day they had a terrible accident. And they had called us and said, well, the insurance company's offered us $1,500. And they were really inclined to take it. And I said, before you take it, let's at least look at your records and see what's going on. Well, we got the records and found that one of them had a fractured disc that they didn't even know about. The doctor didn't tell them, but it was reflected on the diagnostics. That's a condition that can sometimes heal itself over time and sometimes can fracture further and cause great pain and agony for someone. And so you really need care in that situation. Once that was identified, they understood, well, maybe we need to take a little longer and make sure we have all the information before we push any buttons. And when they did that, it was a situation where this person needed more care. We were able to get them connected with doctors that could deliver care, and ultimately that $1,500 was a fraction. And when their case resolved, they said, Mike, thank you so much for letting us take the time and also giving us the information, because without that, we would be in a terrible position because we would have resolved it. We were inclined to do that, and we wouldn't have been able to pay our bills.
Right. And some of the things I've learned where acute pain turns into chronic pain. There's so many things. I just want people to not feel guilty about saying, I need help.
Yeah, and it's really, it doesn't even have to be I need help. It's I need someone to help me through this process, because really as an attorney, I don't deliver care. There are a number of really fantastic medical professionals in the Phoenix community that are so knowledgeable and so skilled at delivering, effective modalities, as us attorneys like to call it, of care. They deliver treatment that helps people. I can't do that. I don't have that skill set. I don't have that credential. But what I am able to do is know who does do that. And if it's someone that a patient needs, I'm going to try to connect them who I'd connect my grandma or my sister with. I want them to go to the people that can deliver the best possible results. And that's what we try to do for our clients on the legal side at MDK.
And I think, in the PI space, you have so many different injuries, right? So you have your soft tissue injury, you have broken bones, but I think we forget some people don't even walk away from that accident.
Yeah, it's remarkable what you see. You do this long enough, you see the whole spectrum. And I've seen small accidents where people have walked away and had nominal injuries, and I've seen the same type of an impact require someone to get multiple back surgeries. And the reason is because not everyone's the same. We're not all walking in with the same structure, the same body, the same life experience. And you take victims as you find them in Arizona, and as an attorney, you need to understand who your client is, because they may have a background or an experience that's going to change what they need or what's going to be required to make sure that their path forward is in the best position.
Like someone who rides horses.
Sure.
That's a thing, that actually happened. Where
A couple people in Arizona do that.
I think we have some lawyer friends that does that too. So what you're saying, to your point, yeah, it depends. If whatever your job is that you do 8 hours a day could require you to rehab a certain part of yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so people have repetitive injuries, they have degenerative conditions, they have, old knee injuries from their high school football days or whatever the case may be. As an attorney, I want to know what's going on with you, because that's going to help me understand how to put you in the best spot.
Yeah, I have so many questions for this guy, so it's brewing in my head. But the other part that I wanted all of us to help people with is their insurance. Their car insurance. Tell us why that's important.
So I can't tell you how many times, and you too, I'm sure, get calls and people say, I have the maximum insurance. And as attorneys, one of the first things we do is we reach out to the insurance company and find out what coverage looks like. And people equate, unfortunately, maximum with state minimums. And so they will have minimum insurance, they won't have any medical payment coverage, they won't have any underinsured or uninsured coverage. And what that really means is they're not protected, and they don't even know. And so if you're someone looking at insurance and you're thinking about how do I protect myself and my family, the people I care about, they're going to be sitting next to me, hauling in our wagon. You want to make sure you talk to your insurance agent about medical payment. $5,000 is essentially free to help cover medical bills. There's no reimbursement requirements at that amount in Arizona. So for the cost of a burger a month, you can help protect yourself even if you're at fault. So that is something I encourage everyone to give a hard look at.
Yeah, people get confused because they'll say, I have health insurance. So
yeah, health insurance may or may not cover you. The medical payment coverage should cover you, and you're going to incur bills if you're in a significant accident. And having the ability to make that phone call, present those records, and get those funds to help cover those unexpected bills is not something you have to worry about at that point. You know you're covered, you're protected. Your health insurance may or may not apply, especially if you're traveling, right? So how many of us have gone on vacation and seen accidents happen? Well, what happens if one of those persons is from out of state? Does their coverage apply? How does it apply? When does it apply? Those become tricky questions sometimes. But your medical payment coverage follows you wherever you go as a driver in the United States, which is pretty amazing.
So yeah, MedPay guys, $5,000.
And then underinsured and uninsured, they're essentially a second layer of protection. They only apply once the first layer is exhausted. So the other driver doesn't have insurance, it kicks in. The other driver's insurance is not enough, it kicks in. And I encourage everyone to have enough so that they feel comfortable knowing that if they get in a terrible accident, they're going to have the ability to cover their bills, the injuries and damages that they might have or people in their vehicle might have. And so that's a financial question that everyone should look at individually, and it's going to be different numbers for different people. But again, talk to your insurance broker. I encourage you to get as much as you feel comfortable with, because for the cost, there are few things you can buy that will better protect you and your family.
Yeah, because you can be the best driver. You can't control what other people do.
Too many cell phones, too many distracted drivers, too many phone calls, too many people watching YouTube while they're driving, whatever. Yeah, Instagram,
TikTok.
social media, right? So as attorneys, we see those things. I think of myself as a good driver, but there are times when I've almost been hit, and you can't control other people on the road, and other people aren't using the same logical thought process that you might be using. They might not be paying attention. They might be intoxicated. We've all seen drunk driving accidents. In the consequences can be devastating for someone, especially if they don't have the insurance to make sure they're protected.
It could really affect your life.
100%. People lose careers because of it.
File bankruptcy.
Yeah, file bankruptcy, lose careers, are displaced from their homes, the places that they consider a refuge. They can lose it, and having the protection gives you that ability to know that if the worst comes to fruition, I've at least got something. So I encourage everyone to take a look at it. And if you're not sure what you have, call your agent. Ask them, what do I have? What do I need? How do I protect myself? How do I protect my loved ones? And then what are the numbers? Because I think it will surprise a lot of people just how inexpensive it is to protect yourself and your loved ones.
Well, and also that even, accidents can happen, right, to anyone, even if you are the best driver. So I like that you pointed out that even if you're at fault, it will kick in.
Yeah, the MedPay kicks in when you're at fault. So you are late at night, you had a long day at work, you miss a red light, you hit someone, you go to the hospital, you have $5,000, $10,000 in medical bills, best case scenario probably, and you then get the bill, and now you don't have a car, you're not able to work because you're injured, you have bills coming in that you have no way to pay, especially while your income is on pause. That is a catastrophe in the making. MedPay kicks in that scenario, and the insurance companies have an obligation to act quickly. If you get an attorney that is knowledgeable about these things, they will act quickly to see that gets addressed so that you can work on getting back to life.
Would you agree that it would be a good or a best practice to even review what you have like every quarter, just to know it's there? Because I've had people where they think this whole time they had something, and then they don't, and then they're surprised.
Yeah, they buy a new car and they forget to call and add the car, or they think they've got it and they're not sure. pick up the phone. Call Christina. Call us at MDK. We're happy to talk with you about it. We can look at it and get you answers quickly so that you can then decide what you need or want to do for yourself and your family. Very simple thing, quick phone call, easy to do, and absolutely free when you call MDK.
And I think it's just that whole being proactive thing.
It is.
Don't learn the hard way.
Well, too many people do learn the hard way. Right. So they go get that coverage after an accident. And then the next time something happens, they're protected. But don't wait for next time. Get it right the first time.
That said, though, for you, your family, your friends, the people, what do you suggest? I know sometimes it depends on, and we're aware, like financially you have to consider that. But what's your suggestion? Let's say it's a 2019 Toyota Corolla. What do you want to see someone have?
Yeah, if someone's driving a relatively new car, I want to see MedPay, I want to see underinsured and uninsured coverage, and I want to see gap insurance coverage because guess what? You owe more on your car than it's worth if it's a new car.
Get gap insurance.
The day you drive it off the lot. And there are all kinds of companies that sell gap insurance. I encourage everyone to try to get it through their own auto insurance company because then you have one company. It's usually, not always, but usually cheaper with your own company. And then you're making one call or you're having more specifically an attorney making that call and dealing with those legal headaches to handle all of that for you. It makes your process, your risks much smaller when these events happen.
How about the rental car? I feel like that's one thing where first party, if it's not on there, it's a problem and you feel so bad, but there's nothing you could do when they don't have it.
Big issue, especially in Arizona. We have spring training. So many people from Chicago, Minnesota, all the northern states, they want to get here. They want to see the sun. They want to watch some baseball. They're renting cars from everywhere. That is not an obvious answer. So you may have coverage, you may not. Did you purchase extra coverage when you got the rental car? Are you using one of the newer rent someone's personal vehicle, Turo, take your pick? That sort of marketplace is changing and evolving so quickly that there are just so many different scenarios. But whatever scenario you pick, make sure that you've got coverage because you don't want to have to pay to replace Budget's rental car or Enterprise's rental car. So make sure you have something when you do make that rental.
And I know you've had people where they're like, they got an accident, they got a rental, and then they got another accident. And I've had one where there's a third one. So just to summarize the how to protect yourself with the car insurance part, will you go over that one more time?
Yeah, so get a good agent. If you don't have one, call us. We can give you some names. There are lots of good ones out there. If you're not comfortable with an agent, go online, do your research. In Arizona, you want to have at a minimum the minimum coverage, and then you want to add to it. You want to add MedPay. You want to add rental coverage. You want to add coverage for underinsured and uninsured accidents so that you and your family can have an assurance. And there may be other things that your agents can talk to you about, but those, in my mind, as an attorney that deals with insurance companies almost every single day, those are the things that matter. That's where I encourage everyone, if you're going to put your money somewhere to protect yourself, those are areas that you definitely want to take a hard look at.
Okay, you heard it here. So guys, please listen up. Protect yourselves and your family. I know we're coming close to our end, but I have more questions. So first, let everyone know how to get a hold of you, and then I have more questions.
So you can reach myself or my partner Sargon at MDK Law Group, 623-225-5635, or as we like to say it, 623-CALL-MDK.
There you go. And we'll put it up here as well. Okay. I know you're a brilliant lawyer, and I've gotten to know you as a friend, and you're wonderful. But I know there's more. So I have to ask, where were you born?
So I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. I was born in Portland, Oregon. It's probably why I'm so pale. And spent my days running around in the rain in the Portland suburbs until I went to law school. And then when I was done, decided I I wanted to be in Arizona, but had to resist some job offers in Hawaii and Alaska before I made that
Hawaii?
decision.
Wow. And how old were you then? Like time frame?
Long time ago. It's been too long. It's. I don't know if I want to reveal my age on the podcast here.
Okay, but when did you know that you wanted to be a lawyer? Was it after your dad?
So for me, that really was a driving experience. But anyone that knows me will say from the time I was 5 years old, they're like, this is a smart, argumentative kid. He is definitely going to be a lawyer.
Okay, yeah, fair. I could see that. But then when did you move to Arizona again?
So I moved to Arizona in 2005,
Okay.
and I've been here ever since.
Okay, and then you met your beautiful wife here also.
Met my beautiful wife, true champion here in Arizona. She's got family here, which is wonderful because we have two littles at home that sometimes need some help. So Grandma and Grandpa, big shout out to you guys.
How old are the babies?
4 and 2.
And do you think they're both going to be lawyers?
I don't know. I hope
Too
that-
early to tell.
Yeah, too early to tell. I think they're both argumentative, and I blame myself for that. That's karma coming back. But we'll see. We'll see where life takes them.
Okay, I hate to put you on the spot, but I want you to leave a message for your wife.
So I'd like to take a moment to thank my most beautiful wife. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary. It has been...
Congratulations.
Thank you. An amazing journey. We've done so much in such a short amount of time and had the most incredible experiences, and none of it would be possible, and especially having someone so wonderful caring after our beautiful kiddos would have been possible without you, so thank you.
I feel like it's important, your home life really does carry into work, and to have that support that you have.
The kind of work that I do and that my partner Sargon does for our clients is relentless, and that's reflected in the kind of results we obtain. And so, I can't tell you a weekend when I haven't been working and or taking phone calls or both.
You always answer me. It doesn't matter if it's a weekend or late. I'm like, when does he rest?
Yeah, and
people ask me the same.
And my partner's the same way. And so, with that kind of a drive and that kind of a schedule, it creates challenges. And having someone that understands and appreciates what we're doing and what we're building and growing. You visited us at our office, I don't know, over a year ago, and we maybe had 3 or 4 employees, and we've tripled that, and so...
yes, you have. Now, your family name. I had asked you this in passing, and I avoided the question because I was saving it here. Were you guys in real estate as well?
So my family does a lot of different things, but my core family does a ton in real estate.
Okay.
So every side of it. Development, construction, banking, and so...
Apartments, maybe?
Apartments, yeah, some apartments. So...
Are there any other projects that you can share?
My partner and I are both attorneys, and we're focused on delivering effective legal options and results for people. But we're also entrepreneurs, and so we get involved in some different business activities. And so, in addition to dealing with and helping clients through their obstacles, we like to look at some different business ventures, real estate, things like that we think there are real opportunities, especially in Arizona, with our population growth and perpetual good weather.
Mike, thank you for being here at Connect with Christina, a.k.a.
The Clout God.
There you go. High five. Let's see Attorney Michael Morgan do the dab. Dab. Hey. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. All right. Thanks, guys.
Brand new biz, never asked her how she get it. Made a couple racks, I never asked her how she did it.